Hi guys, this is the Casual Fan. The Formula One circus makes its way to the Miami Grand Prix this weekend, a race that is highly anticipated by many fans and drivers alike. The 2022 Formula One Championship has got off to a pretty decent start, with both Max and Charles fighting it out for top honors at the moment. Having said that, there's plenty of action up and down the grid, with a very competitive midfield keeping things interesting as well. But, that's not what we are here for, right? We aren't here to talk about how good the 2022 season has been. We are not here to talk about who is bringing what upgrades, or who is where in the championship standings. We are here for some good old school fun as we sit down, rack our brain and make some bold predictions for the Miami Grand Prix. So without further ado, let's jump straight to it. Yeah, you read that one right. The Miami Grand Prix is going to be chaotic as hell. Why? Let me break it down for you. First, it's a brand new track with no racing ever conducted on it. This alone makes things hugely unpredictable. Add to it the another variable of rain on Friday and Sunday, which would curtail the running for the teams and also throw a giant wedge into their preparations. Once that is out of the way, add another factor of the 2022 Formula One cars being prepared with an entirely new set of regulations, and what you have is ultimately a race that is going to be unpredictable. Now, just in the end, after all of that, sprinkle scattered showers during the race, and what you get is a race that is going to be full of chaos and is going to catch many teams off guard. Okay, now picking a driver that has won 2 of the first 4 races of the season is, it's not really the most bold prediction of them all now, is it? But if you guys have noticed this season, Max Verstappen has not gone 2 races without suffering a DNF. He had a DNF in the first race of the season in Bahrain. Then he beat Charles Leclerc to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, his first win of the season. After that, in the 3rd race of the season, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen went up in fumes and caused another DNF, only for him to bounce back yet again and dominate the Imola Grand Prix. Now, according to form that Max Verstappen has had this season, he has not scored in every alternate race. My friends, the Miami Grand Prix is that alternate race for Max. Despite this, I'm taking a leap of faith and hoping that Red Bull has sorted out the reliability issues faced by the team earlier this season. And for a change, Max will be able to finish 2 races in a row this season. Okay, now with that assumption out of the way, let's just take a look at the conditions in play at the Miami Grand Prix. First of all, the long straights work in favor of Red Bull. Doesn't matter what the conditions are. Having said that, even though we are expecting a chaotic race with rain, making things interesting, who else is a better and more versatile driver than Max Verstappen on the grid to make it work? No one really, no one comes close, hence that's my pick. Max Verstappen is winning the Miami Grand Prix. Things aren't looking that good for Carlos Sainz this season, isn't it? The Spanish driver, he's 48 points behind Leclerc after 5 races this season. And mind you, in any of those 5 races, he has not looked quicker than Leclerc at any stage of the weekend. Heading to the Miami Grand Prix, the Spaniard is under a lot of pressure. The pressure of not only losing out on the championship, but also falling into the dreaded role of being the 2nd Ferrari driver. A role that is so hard, it almost acts like a career ender for drivers. Just ask Rubens Barrichello and Felipe Massa what kind of things they had to do to improve the chances of their teammates in the championship. The race strategies are compromised. The support is unilaterally towards the lead driver. He gets the new parts first and everything is just aligned towards his betterment in the championship. Carlos Sainz, just like Ferrari, will surely be giving it a thought on how the team is going to approach this situation. This is probably one of the reasons why the Spaniard appears to be facing some sort of pressure to perform, and maybe that is why he has suffered multiple incidents in the last 2 races. At the Miami Grand Prix, with the pressure heightened even more, I have a feeling that, well, Carlos is going to have another bad race where, because of one thing or the other, he ends up finishing behind Charles Leclerc. Now, this was one prediction I had made last time around that turned out to be as true as a prediction could. Mercedes struggled with almost catastrophic levels of bouncing in Imola on the straights, and suffered majorly with an inability to generate temperature in the wet conditions. Both those factors worked like a charm for McLaren, and Norris picked up his first podium of the season. Now, coming to the Miami Grand Prix, looking at the track layout and the weather forecast, it's fair to say that the 2 factors that are going to be crucial during the weekend are a team's ability to generate temperature in the tires, and at the same time the aerodynamic efficiency in the straight line. Well, as we all saw in Imola, those 2 are the areas where Mercedes seems to struggle the most. Sure, Toto has come out and said that the team will be bringing a few upgrades this weekend at the Miami Grand Prix, but, well, as they like to say, the proof is in the pudding. And at the moment, Mercedes has not shown any signs of resurgence. Hence, this race weekend, yet again, I am picking McLaren to beat Mercedes in the Miami Grand Prix. Sure, many will think that predicting Sebastian Vettel, a driver who scored points in the last race, is not what one will call a bold prediction. Now, to anyone that thinks that way, let's get a few things straight. That Aston Martin is the 9th fastest car on the grid. The very fact that Vettel, or even Stroll for that matter, was able to score points with that car should be applauded, because throughout the Imola Grand Prix, Vettel drove almost out of his skin to achieve that result. If anyone even has a doubt over these claims, all they need to do is take a look at the sprint race that was conducted in dry conditions, and you would be able to see the level of disparity between the Aston Martin and the cars Vettel was fending behind him. Okay, now since we have made that clear, coming back to the Miami Grand Prix, we are expecting a chaotic race to greet us fans. A race that could include rain at some point in time, and a race that could, in essence, see teams and drivers stumbling over each other because of strategic or setup errors. That's where I feel Sebastian Vettel, an experienced driver that excels in wet weather condition, is going to reign supreme. And while others trip over themselves, Vettel is going to score his 2nd point scoring finish for the season. So these are my bold predictions for the Miami Grand Prix. What are yours? Drop them in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to help grow the channel. Hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.